そして今日からは謎に包まれたモビルスーツ軍団デスアーミーとのデスマッチ。それではガンダムファイトレディーゴー。
Hello and welcome back to another Gundam Call review. Today we're taking a look at the high-grade Future Century Death Army. Alright, and starting off as always with the articulation. The eye is on its track so it can move side to side. There's a little tab under there to make it easier. Head is on a barbell so it can get a decent wiggle. Can only rotate about that far, which granted is pretty good considering how deep set it is in there, but it does mean it can't do a full 360. Shoulders are on forward-facing hinges as well as ball joints. Then the armor can move up a bit so you can get pretty much 90 out to the side. It does look a little bit weird when you do that. It's kind of a little bit far away from the torso, but it works. There are 2 ball joints in the waist stacked on top of each other, so pretty decent range there. Front skirt is hinged, side skirts are ball jointed. The back skirt is actually hinged, though I'm not really sure why, because it's not like it would actually affect the ability to go back at all. Just pegs for the hips, though that said, pretty decent out to the front. Like I said, massive to the back, and also full splits. There's a thigh cut, though it doesn't get a full rotation because of how high up it is. Just a single joint at the knee, but over 90 degrees from it. And has the pretty standard sort of front-back hinge ball joint system for the feet. Which isn't crazy, but it has enough of a tilt for a decent pose. And getting into accessories and gimmicks, let's start off, as always, with the sticker sheet and by extension, color correction. You get the 2 mono eyes. This piece can rotate around. You do have to pop the top of the head off. Has the circular eye and then the diamond one on the other side. The pink is metallic. The green is not. It has a weird effect, but it actually looks pretty good. Aside from that, you have to color in the black dots on the torso and legs, which isn't that big a deal. And honestly, considering how simple the colors are, I'm not too surprised that that's all you have to color in. And it's also pretty minimal, so it's not that big a deal. Now, getting into accessories properly, you do get 2 holding hands, and they do have hinges at the wrist, which is kind of superfluous. I don't really know why they did that, to be honest. I mean, it's neat to have them, but it doesn't actually get any use out of them, so I don't really know why they bothered. You do get the club beam rifle, which just slides into the hand, and I mean, it's held fine. Fairly tight if you actually get it in all the way, though given how bulky this is, maybe it's not the easiest thing in the world, but it's not going to fall out or anything. Aside from that, you do get 1 extra hand, which is the holding hand to use it as a club. There's a little tab on that side and just pegs in there. This hand doesn't have a wrist hinge, which is... Come on guys, you can't give it to the melee weapon hand. You can give hinges to the ones where it doesn't matter, but the one where you'd actually want it to be able to move a bit more, it's not a big deal. Oh, also you do get a couple of parts that they try and pretend is a gimmick, but it's just leftover parts from the Bandai kit. You do get the folded up feet for the quadruped version of the Death Army. You literally can't use them without the extra legs, so I just didn't bother cutting them off, but they are included. So one thing I want to quickly point out, you may have noticed the pegs on the side of the rifle, and you're like, oh, there's pegs on the back, I could probably store it there. No, they didn't mold it to be the right size. What were you smoking, Bandai? That would have been so easy. Why did neither of them fit, by the way? Why did they do this? It feels like there was some miscommunication going on here, because this looks intentional. I mean, it looks like it would fit there perfectly fine, but it doesn't stay. I don't know how that passed quality control. And that's for a quick size comparison to Future Century Mobile Suit. So it's a little bit on the shorter side, but it has a surprising sort of heft to it because of how chunky the limbs are. So, in conclusion, this is a nice little grunt kit. I'm happy to have it. Granted, that's partially helped by the fact I already have a couple of the G Gundam high grades, so I can actually pose this with something. on its own, it's a nice little kit. It's a little underwhelming, but I mean, that's just kind of the Death Army. It's something that you really army build. I mean, it's even in the name. Worth picking up if you like it. Nothing too special about it, but it's neat. Anyway, that's all for this review. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, helps a lot. Subscribe and hit the bell for future reviews. Go follow me on Twitter for updates. And consider supporting me on Patreon so I can keep making reviews just like this one. And as always, until next time, happy building.